Hello and welcome to episode 401 of Tenno Clock. I am MDRLOz, who has somehow moved out of position and now will move into position. There we are, positions set. I am one of your hosts, and this is your other host, Xeno.
I'm wearing a hat.
Wearing a hat. He's wearing a hat. He's wearing a hat. Is it a new hat?
No. It's, no, last week because it was so warm I didn't wear a hat.
Shocker. Right, well, we're now past 400. Whoop-de-doo. Woo! Back to the normal scheduled podcast of me and Xeno moaning, even though that's what it was last week. Well, maybe me moaning last week. So, no guest this week.
Has to wear a hat.
I am wearing a digital hat.
Digital skin. Have to wear a hat. Otherwise, you don't have a face.
My secret. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, well, it's back to a normal episode where it's just me and Xeno this week, and we'll be mumbling on about war. So let us begin, as we have done for, I think, about 380 episodes before this. We shall look at emblems.
Loz wins.
Yes.
I mean, I thought mine was kind of cool.
Like that, yeah. Yeah, like that.
Well, sorry, what?
I'm
like
mimicking
what?
the image. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, like that. So I thought mine was kind of cool with the whole SF thing, with the shield, the gradients. Loz wins.
My power at finding emblems show's never stopping. No, that's very
think
rare.
that character's from K-On! I've not actually seen it, but anyway. Right, so that's it for the intro.
However, if you wish to win 75 platinum, go into the description of this video. The description of this video, and you will find a link to a Google page of mystery. On this Google page of mystery, please fill in all of your details, including what platform you play Warframe on, which emblem you think won, and your in-game Warframe alias. Please put that in and do double check it, because we do get mistakes and people lose out on platinum. So put that in, and you will be in on a chance to win 75 platinum. Woo!
Just to highlight, it's called episode polls and Plat giveaway, so you can find it in the description below by that. So yeah,
there we go. Right.
Cool.
Let us move on, as we always should after this, to Dojo Dusting, the dusting of the dojo. What dust needs to be removed this week, Xeno? Happy 401?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously happy 400. We're still going strong. I think that Loz and I really wanted to play more Warframe off of the back of TennoCon. However, literally, we've just come out of a heat wave, and unlike a lot of the world, we don't know what air conditioning is. Apparently, we still live in the Stone Age. And yeah, it was just unbearable. We just couldn't do anything. I imagine the rest of the world also had a heat wave. But
please enjoy this week's footage, which is me desperately rushing to get ducats to forget the things I wanted from get some of the things from the Barrow before he left.
Barrow, yeah. Oh god, what else was there? Then there was I kind of want to talk briefly about the upcoming project, if you're okay with that. Briefly. So, looking to I don't know, like I haven't done much in terms of video stuff for a while, but it kind of hit me with the heat wave as a heat wave. I think that Loz and I are keen to do an anime themed podcast. We won't be exclusively anime. They're never say never. We will touch upon stuff from, like, I don't know, maybe the cinema, Marvel movies,
anime and pop culture media.
There you go.
Primarily anime and
pop anime. So pod anime pod. No, I'm gonna stop.
It doesn't have a title yet, does it?
No, we don't. We don't actually have an idea for a title. And Otaku Cast now. So it's gonna have its own channel. There will be links, announcements when it's going live. There's no planned start date yet. We're still in the planning phase. I've got a lot done for the scene setup, similar to how we've done it for 10 o'clock. Learnt things from 10 o'clock to make it better for the new podcast, and then likewise we could probably take it back to improve 10 o'clock afterwards.
I'm sure I shall sport some lovely anime-esque skin.
No, to be fair though, I still think you should use the Warframe skin. I really do.
could be anime teenage schoolboy.
You really? Okay.
We'll see what I get.
Right.
We'll see what I get. Yeah, maybe I'll change it every week.
If I had the option to, if I could be, I don't know, a Guyver or the armored suit from oh god, High School Double D, you know, the Dragon Armor, or Tekkaman Blade.
This is where I go and find somebody who's made a VR chat Tekkaman Blade, and you're like, I'm so jelly.
Right? Yeah, I would. But likewise, get a Pat Labor or a Gundam, and you know, I'll be like, okay, 100%, yeah, use one of those. But like, otherwise, I think it'd be fine if you just use your Warframe.
Well, I need to get my real skin, which I need friends in VR chat. So if anyone wishes to be my friend, please be my friend. I need friends.
We were going to sort that this week, but it was just too hot.
I put a tweet out.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that. Right, so that's it for Dojo Dusting. Let's move on to the War Report.
The War Report.
TennoCon was last weekend.
So yeah, TennoCon was last weekend. There was just 2 points I've really got, though, just to let people know about things that are happening in Warframe at the moment. Firstly, that the next part of the Twitch skin lineup is now out. The Redeemer skin, the Verve skin, that's now up. Yeah. You get a free Redeemer, obviously a weapon slot for that Redeemer, and the Verve skin, so don't miss out on it. And also, it looks like, I think it's a little bit late, but I think it'll still be up by the time people come out. If people missed out on the Epic Games Unreal Tournament skins, they're now back available. So you have to download the Epic client. I think you have to install Warframe through it, log in, and then you get the skins permanently. But don't miss out on that, because they are some pretty cool skins if you like Unreal Tournament. So just to let people know, those are back.
I also believe that when you unlock the skins, you can use them on the PC version as well. I
think it's a permanent unlock once you have them. It's not tied to it, but you've got to download the client once and play it through Epic Games. I think I've done that, but then I play through Epic Games. But I've got the skins. Don't miss out.
Right, I've just checked my emails. I haven't had any correspondence that say, "Oh yeah, don't forget to mention this stuff."
No, I think we're in a bit of a lull now, so we're going to be carrying on from what came from TennoCon, the post-TennoCon stuff. But just to let you know, don't miss out on those things when they're up. So yeah, the Twitch skin and the Epic Games skins are available. So that's it. Let's move on.
I know.
Waiting for that next dev stream.
I know. I think you turned around and said that you thought the next dev stream would be August.
I think it's going to be like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks from TennoCon.
I kind of feel that then we might get one as early as
next week.
Next week, at the end of July, because they're going to have plenty to say that they didn't say during the Tenno Live thing. So.
Oh, totally. I feel that Steve was sort of muzzled. You know, this was a very muted, calmed Steve. When Steve normally likes to explain, let people know his vision. And we didn't get that this time, to just be like, spectacle. Like even Jeff said, you know, didn't think it was good enough. And I can't wait for that dev stream. Hopefully Steve will be able to just unload on what this means for going forward in Warframe. And maybe that'll make me feel a whole lot better about TennoCon as a whole. But at the moment, I'm like, I don't get why people are so obsessed with this. But let's move on.
Right, so our topics for this week. I have not taken any of the times down, damn it.
I was even saying, like,
we're only 8 minutes in.
Report.
Right. So the first topic, thank you. Sorry, the first topic is Pablo is right about old stuff not being worth the revisit. And the second topic is Era is making his own Tenno. I don't know where I put not in there, but yes. Okay, cool. So, topic number 1. Pablo is right about old stuff not being worth the revisit. Old stuff isn't worth a revisit. New stuff is where the returns are, as players can rage, or we can lean in to enjoy that. Sorry, has my brain just completely crapped out?
I think it's overheated and it's now resetting.
Yeah, it's the hat. I think it's the hat.
The hat. Yes, of course.
Yeah, the hat
insulation that wasn't expected.
Yep, I should use thermal paste. My bad. Right. As players, we can rage or lean into that should be into as one word. Lean into enjoying that. Or we can do both more realistically. Going back and tuning.
Dino's not having fun today.
No, is it me? Is this grammar just weird? Right.
Going back and tuning old stuff is rarely worth it.
Is rarely worth it for the company, no matter how much. There's no punctuation. There's several. No matter how much they can add, their fans may want to.
Try and just when I'm doing this, if you're having problems, don't actually read the words. Just say word after word, and don't actually read what the sentence is saying.
Going back and tuning old. See, the problem is like it's using words I rarely use in my vocabulary.
Oh yeah, just switch off the back of your brain. Just look at word and say word, then say next word, then say next one. Don't actually think about what the sentence is saying.
I think the problem is I'm struggling to focus on it.
Shall I read it out?
Going back and tuning old stuff is rarely worth it for the company, no matter how much they and their fans may want to. When I started Warframe, I was also playing gems of games. Shut up. Gems of games with tight, focused design.
That's wrong. Thorough balancing. Right, okay.
Thorough balancing and layer upon layer of polish. But they will only last maybe 60 hours for me. 60 hours is a long time.
It's a game that lasts 60 hours, and I pay, let's say, 50 quid or $60, $70 worth. That's decent. I'll have my money's worth from that. That's over 2 days of my life for a game. That's fine. That's decent.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I said it shouldn't be more than £2 per hour. I mean, like that to me, a pound per hour is really solid investment.
Exactly. Yeah. £1 per hour is or roughly just a bit under $1 a bit over $1 an hour. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. So when it's like £2 to £3 / an hour, it's like, was it really worth this? You know.
Two's my maximum.
That's the tipping point. The tipping point. Yeah. Pounds is easier.
Right. With nearly 7,000 hours, according to Steam, never check your Steam numbers. Always check your in-game ones. Steam lies. Warframe is a game I keep coming back to on the other hand, soaking in the novelty and compulsively farming and grinding while I eat a sandwich or drag myself through
doldrums.
What's a doldrum?
Kind of, if I say humdrum, ordinary, kind of just something you have to do.
Monotony?
Yeah, doldrums, doldrums, you know.
Okay.
Like a thing you have to do, but it's not really a thing. That's how it's right.
While there is incredible quality and production value here and there, the revenue cycle is that of a vast food restaurant. I think the problem I have with this grammar is the excessive use of vocabulary. I mean, what restaurants do you have that don't serve food?
So, doldrums, a state of period of stagnation or depression. The mortgage market has been in the doldrums for years.
Okay. It is possible to have spent so long on a project that fixing it becomes a matter of recoupling loose or otherwise investing in recouping losses or otherwise investing in harder to quantify sources of return on the developer's time. So this feels like a pretty long-winded way to say don't bother revisiting old content.
Yep.
How do you feel about this?
Let me just quickly calculate what was it. Quality production of a less possible to have long project. Basically, it becomes a matter of recoupling losses or otherwise investing in harder. No, see, there's no specifics in what they're implying this to. Warframe. I got my thing there. Warframe is a game that has been iterating itself from the outset. Everything has been reiterated, and to say that they're not going back over things is lazy and bad. If you apply that logic,
I want to inject. No, I do want to inject because I think this is referring to the Q&A question from
the game modes.
No, the Q&A question from TennoCon when they were talking about like revisiting Warframes.
I also think he said about game modes. Do you remember that was asked about exterminate mobile defense?
I think that was a different question.
I think it was that.
That question was, would you consider revisiting game modes, right? Whereas this one was like, how do you choose what warframes are going to be next reworked? Maybe maybe that's the point. Maybe we're looking at this from two different perspectives, whereas this topic is also talking about it from a greater whole. Are you looking at the original topic?
Yeah, it is. Thank you, Tobiah, for squeezing this down, because this one's a long one. It is, it really is. I perhaps was mistaken. It was a while ago. I remember a documentary about EverQuest that said the thing, probably going back and tuning old stuff is really worth it. Well, there's incredible quality production in here. The revenue cycles out of fast food. Right, but this crunch wrap looks good. Useless. Now, but anyway, which one will make money? Now, there are exceptions. It's possible I've spent so long on a project that fixing it becomes a matter of recouping losses or otherwise investing in harder to quantify sources of return on developers' time. Taking a guess here, but redoing Railjack was probably imperative because I imagine it took a metric fuck ton of time to piece together, and having it flop does much more damage than it was an island that they can easily abandon because they are getting people to leave beyond the rate they were already leaving at. Any thoughts? I do think this is game modes as well.
Okay. So I think that talking about that,
because the first reply is ultimately old content, and they did say content in this, so I want to apply it to game modes as well, because this is what the overall theme is.
Okay, cool. I do feel that. Go on.
You do yours. I was mid point when you stopped me, but you go yours, and I'll come back to it.
I think it's important though that, you know, as the analogy here with fast food restaurants and things, I feel that a lot of gamers, they want the hot new thing now. They, you know, when the next Call of Duty comes out, the old Call of Duty, the last one, becomes irrelevant.
Yeah.
Right? And Call of Duty does amazingly well. Because of the way it is advertised, the way the players engage with it, so on and so forth. They don't care about the old shitty content. They care about the new shitty content. And if the new content is shitty, developers are going to fucking know about it. Whereas if the developers are clever and sly and repackage the old thing to make it appear like a new thing, then the players aren't going to complain about it. Yes, they may get bored quicker, but part of parcel, they're going to engage with it quicker as well.
So what's that apply to Warframe?
I feel that the player base couldn't give a fuck if the old content is improved or not. You know, whether or not we get old Warframes and we give them new abilities.
I think it's more okay, I'll give you on Warframes, but do expand beyond Warframes, because I'm pretty sure this is not just Warframes.
But I feel that the reason why they had to improve Railjack is for the simple fact that everything they've got planned post Railjack requires Railjack. It's like, why didn't they go back and fix Archwing? Well, nothing was planned to truly engage with Archwing. Or if it was, they decided to just, no, we can just shift it back onto the old rail system, the old train tracks, because that's tried and tested and it works perfectly fine. But they're really pushing hard for this whole, everyone's in a squad, everyone's in a Railjack, you're doing missions in Railjacks, you're no longer doing it the old method, but you know, because it wasn't successful, they needed to put that extra man hours to make it successful. Things like shrinking down the size of the Railjack, which I think is such an amazing quality of life improvement. Things like, you know,
but explain to me why we can't look at mobile defense. That was one of the ones that were brought up.
Because I don't think the player base cares enough about mobile defense, right? I don't think the player base engages with mobile defense nearly as much as they do things like capture missions.
Right, but why not improve mobile defense to make it more engaging, more rewarding?
Because you can't guarantee that unless you were to just go flat double the rewards, right? How could you guarantee the players would engage with it? because it's been seen that players don't engage with old content once it's been reworked.
I can't really explain a game mode which has been reworked and the assessment of its engagement thereof.
But we're going based off what they're saying. I mean, you're right. We don't have that data, but they are saying that the numbers don't change.
Yeah, but, right, okay, so that's what they're saying. Now, I'm going to take you through Warframe's history, and if you apply this logic, Warframe would not be the game it is today without revisiting old content. We wouldn't have the Lisette. Well, we had a star chart, and it worked, and it got us into missions. Well, it had a market, it had a bit of a codex, it let us build things, it gave us our arsenal. Why do you need to go back and look at that content? It's fixed, it works.
Because the whole premise of always being behind your Warframe.
You added something to it by going back and looking at the content and improving it. There's nothing to say you couldn't do the same thing in mobile defense.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
But it's also the same principle to why we've got Railjack, is because they wanted you to stay behind the Warframe the entire time, right?
Yeah, but still, okay, so there's that feature, so they had a goal of something they wanted to add in, so they went back to old content to add that in. So the goal, what you're saying is not, we shouldn't go back to mobile defense, it's that they haven't sat down and thought, well, what can we add to mobile defense that we want to add in? You know?
Okay, let's, do you want to do an exercise now where we're talking about what we could add in? And
you want to spitball some ideas on mobile defense. Okay, but not.
But remember, these ideas need to seriously attract the attention of the player base.
Well, it's unfair to say that I have to, at the top of my head, come up with ideas. But then before we get on to that, let me come up with some other things, right? Okay. We would have talent trees and no mods. Well, you're going back and altering a system. You know, why are we altering a system? Why are we... That was a good decision to make. I know it was a good decision to make, but the principle... See, that's the thing. I'm not looking at overarching things. I'm dealing with the core, the principle of the idea, the philosophy they're taking here. And the philosophy is, Pablo was right, old stuff not worth being the revisit. Oh, we've got a talent tree system. I think we should go for this cool mod system. No, we're not going back to old content to revisit it. It's not worth it. You're having your talent tree system done and move on. The ability to reassess... Right. Yeah, it's the principles.
I think the important thing that you've highlighted with, the mods, with the Lisette, with, I'm even going to throw Parkour 2.0 in there.
Yeah, that's another good one. Yeah, we got rid of the stamina while we changed things up. It's like, well, we've already got that. Why should we revisit and improve it? That's what the game has been nothing but.
These are core fundamental systems, right? The game, these systems leech throughout the entire game. They have, like, I want to say tendrils that literally touch any part of the game. You have this thing behind you, right? But you have this in your arsenal, in your backpack, right? Yeah. It's with you all the time. But with mobile defense or Hydroid or...
Right, if you want, I mean, okay, because I'm not good on updating Warframes, and I'm never going to be like, oh, yes, on Hydroid, we need to improve the versions of the first ability. You are expanding synergy between the... No.
I think if we spitball ideas for mobile defense, I think we could come up with
right,
something...
Can I do Exterminate first?
Oh, if you want to do Exterminate first of all, sure.
Right, first, I literally just came into my head, so I'm like, okay, right, so Exterminate, why is Exterminate kind of boring, right? Because it's just go in, kill enemies. It gives you no other descriptive, it gives you no other reason to challenge. You literally have to just all go through and do it. How about instead of changing it from killing enemy numbers to, I don't know if either this would be one of random things which you start the mission, it says this is a dirt exterminate mission, or it would always be like this. This is just one example, because I think it'd be other ways of doing it. It would be exterminate, and then it'll pop up and it says shock and awe, right? Your goal is not to kill X many enemies, it's to kill, so instead, right, it changes the whole map into sort of a scoring system based on each tile and the speed at which you travel through it and the enemies as you kill them through it. That makes sense. So the goal is not to kill X many enemies and you're done. The goal, and there might be like a marker that's kind of like a pass speed thing, like an orb appears, that or a little sentinel that you're following that's just going through the tiles, and you're basically either trying to get speed up ahead of that. where you're basically going to the next tile, killing as many as you have, and then move on to the next tile as quick as possible. Now there'll be side tiles as well. So, and then the map, if you have the big map open, it'll change color. So if it's green, it means they have morale in that area. As you go into the area and then kill the mobs, it'll go to red. But you've also got to think about the speed at which you're traveling through the tile. So the goal is not just to exterminate and that's it. It's to exterminate with prejudice and speed. And then it gives you a score at the end, which will give you a variation or reward.
So this sounds very similar to...
Like a time trial.
Huh?
Time trial sort of thing.
Yeah, I was going to relate it to the Diablo 3 Greater Rifts, where you have to kill as many... you have to kill the final boss within X many seconds. So you have a progress bar. When the progress bar is full, the final boss appears.
Yeah.
But in that... on the progress bar, there's like a line, and the line just shows the passage of time. So either you're ahead or behind the progress bar.
Yeah, that kind of. That's very similar. Right? Yeah. I wouldn't have the whole end boss thing though, because it would just be.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe you could in some modes, or maybe in harder modes that will be a random effect. I missed the whole thing of random missions happening.
So I want to ask you some questions, right? Of how to improve. What stops a player from going on to the next room? Nothing. So they could go 3 rooms ahead.
See, this is where I haven't sat down and thought about specifics. Would this be a team award or a solo award? I'm not sure. I think maybe a team reward would be better, but then there's issues with that. So I don't want to get bogged down in too many nitty-gritty specifics like that, because I'm not sure. Yeah. I'd have to think about it. You see, you'd have to sit down, and I'm sure people come up with but if you do it this way, if you do it team-based, it'll be this problem. If you do it solo, it'll be this problem. So yeah, I'm just spitballing ideas off the top of my head.
I like the idea of... you had this idea of an orb, right? And the orb follows you.
Yeah, it was the pace setter was what it was.
Okay, the pace setter, right?
Yeah.
So let's say this pace setter is a thing that is out to zip zap zop your warframe, your character. It's there to disable you, right?
Yeah.
So it is... oh god, there's a term for oh god, what's the thing in Torghast? Sorry, World of Warcraft reference. What's the thing that chases you in Torghast?
They've gotten rid of that now, but you mean the thing when you're out of lives?
Did you just say they got rid of it?
Yep.
Warframes. Sorry, World of Warcraft dead to me.
Yep. They made it a raid boss and they got rid of it. And it's a whole scoring system where lives just cost you points.
The good thing about it before they got rid of it, what was it called?
The Terragru.
The Terragru, right? Okay. So big nasty monster. So basically you could have this thing
you refer to it as the cleaner is the best way that would come up behind you.
You have a cleaner that's coming up behind you that's trying. So I recommend that the rooms, right? I'd say the rooms shouldn't be they should be of limited size. So because some of the tiles can be absolutely massive. You cannot progress until you've wiped out everything in that room. Specific mobs can't spawn because there are some mobs that will run away. Yeah. If you got a shield drone, the shield drone will actually leg it. Or they have to change the AI of the shield drone so it doesn't. And basically, as time goes on, the cleaner gets faster and faster. And if the cleaner catches you, that's as far as you've gotten. Maybe we can make this part of the sanctuary.
No. I like what you're saying, but I'll prove it for you because I was about to say that it'd be good if they did this. Now, the thing is with Exterminates is at the moment Exterminate is the same across the solar system, but there are actually some game modes which actually vary. Like Hijack varies based on which planet you're on, and I wish they do that for more things. This would be good for a sentient mission where the sentients are employing the what am I call them? With the anti-warframe fields.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that would be that's basically your wall of lava is what you're talking about behind you.
Yeah.
That's pushing you forward. And as soon as you hit that, or just pulls you out. If so you've got we don't have time to deploy necromex, for instance, so we have to use warframes. We have to exterminate these forces before the sentients catch them, because maybe the sentients are going to absorb them. So we have that's our goal, is to destroy this collection of this troop barracks. We need to wipe it out before the sentients absorb it. So that's why you're the further you go, the better. There you go. Yeah.
So I was liking the idea that there was no end. So the tiles just kept going and going and going. And they could design it so that the environment sort of like... So little story, Loz and I went to I think it was our first ever VR experience, where we met one of our old university friends.
I have that game. I don't have the space to play it though.
Yeah. And what was the game called?
Unseen Diplomacy.
Yeah, so it was like this sort of spy game, and you had to have, I think it was it 2 or 3 meter by 3 meter area to play it?
Well, to play it properly, you probably could. I should load it and see how it plays, because maybe they have, because basically the key thing of that was your entire movement was your movement, but
so
you might be able to
had to. So it's very like James Bond. You had to climb through air vents and things, but they had a trick to get you so that you couldn't. So you didn't realize that you were playing in this tiny area, which was it you go clockwise 3 times, and then you go anti-clockwise 3 times, or you go clockwise 3/4 of a circle.
It's very clever. Yeah, instead of just making you go clockwise the whole time, which you'd pick up on, it's very cleverly making clockwise and anti-clockwise to make it feel like you probably would realize it eventually, but just from the 5 minutes you got to play it did a very good job of optimizing the play space that it had available. Yeah,
because like you can't just have someone run around
in a circle.
So it was really, really cool. And you could do that with this cleaner system, where basically the tile behind you is unloaded. So you got to keep the whole team together, and basically you're spinning around effectively in an area, and then therefore they could just constantly put a tile in front of you, and you could always say that the cleaner is maybe 2 tiles behind you no matter what. So if you get really fast, like the cleaner is behind, but it's still going at its slow pace.
2 tiles behind you no matter what means it would never catch you.
Huh?
If you said 2 tiles behind you no matter what.
At least. At least.
But then it never catches you. It has to be able to catch you.
Let me explain better then, right? The idea is that if you can keep on going, if you're fast enough, then the cleaner could be 3, 5, 20, 100 tiles behind you if you're going too fast.
Yeah.
But we want to unload the tiles behind you.
No. The maximum it can go is what you meant.
Yes.
So basically, the best way to think of this is a straight line of chain with like 5 boxes, and as a box drops off one end, you put it to the other end, and it just keeps going around, moving it. And that even though it, in theory, time-wise, is 20 tiles behind you, it's actually only 2 tiles behind you, and it does catch up.
Yep. So that way, we can spin around in circles.
Yes.
And I think that would be great. And I think maybe there should be a fail condition where you shouldn't let it capture you. So in every room, there is an abort thing, right? Where you can get orders to pull you out.
Yeah,
or
no.
Maybe
I would like that. You get, if you do I say orders pulls you out if you do fall into the field, but if you fall into the field, you'll get a negative for it, but you have the option to extract, but it's your choice to extract. But if you don't, if you just try and play, because what is the one? Elite in Sanctuary Onslaught, you play until the game kicks you out.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever go, escape when you're ready, and there's no negative for just playing till you're out. I think it's sensible to go, right, no, we need to bank what we've got rather than risk it.
Yeah.
You might say like, but people will win. Just like, no, it's gameplay choice. It's choice. You can either try and risk it, like, but I just want to play until the game kicks me out. No, you have to make a choice. I'm sorry. You can't always just win.
So the next question is, how do we reward?
I for now would just leave it on like survival, interception style rewards, maybe the amount of time or the amount of points you accrue for the speed and the amount of mobs you kill. I would rather have a scoring system rather than...
Now, my concern is that instantly becomes the loot cave, because you know that there's some bright sparks out there that can do quadrillions of damage.
But I would come up with ways of them not with disincentivizing that. I would add in things like the Sanctuary Onslaught method of using too many Warframe powers. That, let's say, if you do use too many Warframe powers in Sanctuary Onslaught, the negative is says, oh, I've got enough data on that. No. If you use too many powers in this, the wall speeds up. Because you're drawing it to you, because it's detecting the void power, and it's like, oh no, I better quickly catch up with them. So you have to balance it.
So you have to slow down as well.
If you slow down, it slows down, because it's expanding in all directions, but you're only seeing what you're doing.
Assuming that there's other methods of killing very quickly, could we also have
melee?
Well, no, I was thinking mostly melee, right?
Art guns, kid guns.
What about having negative effects in each room?
Yeah. There's loads of ways you can do it. Yeah, in fact, and I would like to vary it based on which enemy you're fighting and which planet you're fighting. You know, that there's different things you find. Like the Corpus, there might be a room which is a nullifier room, you know, or an experimental nullifier room where bubbles up and up. There might be the Grineer might have because they apparently are struggling to develop them, even though they have. It'd be energy weapon testing room in which energy weapons would randomly fire because you're at a firing range for energy weapons. Yeah. You know, you could do lots of things you could do.
Yeah, no, I very much like this a lot, and I do think that it has the potential to be like ultimate reward generating.
Yeah, so that's a balancing act, you know.
I think an important thing is we'd have to make sure that there's not too much good worthwhile stuff in there. So like, oh no, you can't get the rare resource in this room. Like, so if this is on the void, you can't get like argon crystals. You don't come here for argon crystals.
Or you make it that argon crystals don't appear till later on, so you have to be a certain amount into the mission.
No, my biggest concern is, and I think this is the fear that Scott and Pablo and Steve and Glenn all have, is that if we put in a thing that's, if you get every 1,000 points, or
hang on a minute, just before you keep going, Sanctuary Onslaught, that doesn't drop items, does it?
No, not in the slightest.
Then we just keep that.
Yeah, so no rewards.
Well, I would say, wouldn't it be cool if maybe, if you really wanted to do it, that occasionally there would be a side route of, let's say, 2 tiles. And if you have the time, you think you risk it to send one person down there to finish those 2 tiles. Maybe one's an exterminate tile that unlocks a spy tile that you then finish and then get back to the main thing quickly. There's your bonus reward. You know, because obviously I'm trying to think of the game as like a straight line, obviously, you know, a tile. But if there was ones where occasionally you're on this tile, and then to the left there's 2 tiles, but then you've got to come back to the main tile to go forwards, you have to risk, do you send all 4 people quickly to do it, or do you send one person while other people keep getting ready to move forwards? Yeah.
I don't think we can't reward the players. I think we need to give them something, because otherwise it's like, well, why don't I just play ESO?
But then it'd be like ESO, that the reward is based on time in that, or the amount of things you clear.
Yes. ESO is just experience. You don't get anything else.
Oh, well, then just make it like ESO. ESO still doesn't drop loots, but it's still, it's more ESO than ESO then. There you go.
Wait, hold on.
Something from it.
No, you do. You get rewards for the mission. Like, that's where you get Cora. Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
It's... Drew knows ESO better than me. I wouldn't go against him to say you don't get mission rewards.
You get mission rewards. You don't get pickups and things like that. That was it.
Same as ESO.
So
this is just exterminate, by the way. Do you want to do marble defense as well? I can't really think of any good idea off the top of my head.
I to be honest, I like what we came up with in the past to make mobile defense more interesting, where you have people trying to shut down the Lotus hack, and
then if you do it, you speed up the time. Yeah,
maybe we treat some of the rescue, like I remember way back when there was Dark Sector missions, the what's it called? Dark Sector missions. You had what? What did you have?
Spectres that you send against enemy spectres, or are you talking about the PvP mode where it's like
I'm talking about the spectres. No. So when we had Dark Sector, we had the spectres. The spectres you got from rescue missions, and the best spectres you got from doing the rescue missions perfectly. But then since then, those specters have just been kind of like, left by the wayside.
Yeah.
So people just blitz in, blitz out.
People
like,
love those specters.
rescue.
I love how when they put those in, everyone was so in love with them, and they were like, "Oh, it gets really sad when I finish my mission and I have to leave my specter behind. Is there a way to like pokeball it up and things?" And like people wanted them to expand on it more, and they just abandoned the whole specter system and just moved on to something else.
No, I don't think the problem is they didn't abandon the specter system. They abandoned dark sectors.
No. I mean, fundamentally. So specters came first, right? And they were implemented in the game, and people wanted more. And their solution was not to put more depth into specters, maybe having multi-specters, maybe able to coordinate specters, maybe let you save your specters and things like that, and upgrade your specters. Instead, they went, yeah, you can use them in dark sectors. And then they got rid of dark sectors, and then they just dumped the idea of specters in the bin with them.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Imagine if you could have like a super spectre, which was an ally, like a bit like a companion, but in addition to a companion that you could use for X many minutes per mission before it got put back in its Pokeball, and you can improve upon this one, and it would gain experience. Wouldn't that be cool? No, we did it in Dark Sectors and we binned it. Okay. God, that would be a good way of doing the three fates one. You'd have just 2 spectres. Oh well. All right. Sad Xeno was sad.
No, I'm just trying to think. Like, I don't know. The second we said the whole reward system would work the same as ESO, it just like, well, it feels like it just fell flat. The idea that, you know, this infinite, oh god, would you exterminate 2.0, right? It just feels like it's just fallen flat on its face.
What? Because
it doesn't feel reward. Yeah, it doesn't feel rewarding enough. It doesn't.
Okay, hang on. Rewarding. If the game mode has challenge, there is like, oh, we need to make it reward. Let's not bog down and say like, right, this is cool. Apart from come up from a reward for it, because that's something which would be decided in committee and leveled up and down and tested and things, whatever. Just like, oh, we can't think of a reward for it. Well, what's wrong with existence?
Maybe I'm doing too much. I was trying to think, is there a way we could solve 2 birds? Like, I'm trying to do too much. That's my mistake. I'm thinking, this doesn't work because the players are going to 5 and out, right?
Well, you add in things like it's something Warframe doesn't seem to want to do, which is like thing is, I mean, the premise at the moment, which could change, this is just how I've got it at the moment, which still feels better than disruption, is that like sentients are trying to absorb, because we've seen they can absorb or control proxies. So let's say it's a proxy factory which is completely unmanned, is where you are, and the sentients are trying to control it, and your goal is to go in there and just wreck as many proxies before they get control of them, right? So it gets a score. Obviously, that score could go on a leaderboard. The leaderboard can then be rewarded and could be reset every month. They don't seem to want to do that. I don't get why they don't want to run leaderboards. I suppose
but they do. They have leaderboards for ESO, but no one cares.
Yeah, because they don't reward anything on them. Why isn't it once per month that people need to get a reward for that month for being the victors? There needs to be cosmetic rewards, which are maybe just even small ones, that get replaced every few months or every year, so that everyone has a chance in that year to try and win this cosmetic. It's just an armband or something.
I have a question for you, right? So yes, there's rewards for cosmetic rewards for games or like World of Warcraft. I remember the first ever armored Drake. You know, you had to, was it like PvP thing, the gladiator stuff?
Yep.
Right. And I was like, well, why can't we have that? Right? You know, oh no, it's time. My question to you is, what if we had an armor set and that armor set improved depending on the number of times you won, right?
Yep.
So it wasn't whether or not you won in July 2021, right? It's whether or not you've got 5 wins, right?
Right.
So it can remove the right. Does that appeal to you?
It does, but I'm thinking more further reaching, because how many tiers are you going to put on that? And once people have maxed that out, that's it. What's next? Unless you keep adding tiers or keep adding.
I just kind of want to keep adding tiers, or maybe a new set. So once you've maxed out this armor set that has 10 tiers, right? Then you get access to the second armor set.
Okay, just maybe, but I think to make it a really long time, I would start with you get one shoulder pad. You then upgrade that shoulder pad through 10 tiers. You then get a second shoulder pad. You then upgrade that through 10 tiers.
You choose which bit you get first.
Okay, you can choose to get a piece, then you can upgrade it. Yeah. But you can't move on to the next armor set until you've done the first one. If that's at all interesting, yeah, there's an idea.
So this was something.
I don't want to get bogged down the reward because we're talking about going back to content.
No. Really I think that solves it. No, I really think but I think reward is what really incentivizes whether or not people will revisit it.
Well, I think we could sit down and have a talk about a separate topic, which is what rewards incentivize people to do things, which is a topic in itself. And yeah, armor sets is definitely one of them. But there's loads of stuff you could do, but they just don't do it. Look at rewards, for instance. They give you one reward for doing one thing, and they stick to that religiously. They never give you tokens for other things. They never incentivize you. Hey, you've done a little bit of this, and you got some over there. Hey, why not go do that to finish that token? What are you talking about?
Steel Path.
What about Steel Path?
Remember, so they had steelies, right? Yeah. So you got reward for doing
that's
right.
Fine. Then I'm not saying everything needs to be, yeah.
No, but then there were people that completely cheesed the shit out of it.
That's nothing to do with what I'm saying.
No, but I think there are people out there. Like, how can you price the rewards of stuff when there are people that are so good that they can get that incentive in a fraction of the time of a tiny fraction of the time of anyone else, and then they can be the people that are saying like nothing to do, no content in Warframe. What are we supposed to do? Oh, content drought.
Well, first of all, they're always going to say that, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, you do what you should do, which they sometimes do and then give up on and forget about. You start low, you start with caps, and you slowly expand. And then as you see people abusing it, you rein it back in a bit. That's how you do it. Instead of Steel Path, which was, go get your Steel Essence, it drops in Steel Path. Wait, what? How many per hour? Yeah.
Compare that. Then there were people that would that maximize the throughput, and the game was like, no, you're cheating. We can tell you're cheating. There's no way on earth you should be able to get this. And
exactly. Right. But then they also sometimes don't do it the other way, like the focus system, which just at this point needs to be unshackled and let everyone bloody finish the thing as quick as possible so we can move on. Because I just don't see the point anymore. We should be able to get everyone finished on that tree. It should be a goal. So then we know everyone's finished the focus tree and everyone's maxed out their focus tree. Because it's like, this is just a hindrance. You don't know if somebody is a player with no... See, it's ridiculous. Yeah, a player who has basically started the tree or has maxed out everything. It's like, oh, what have they got? I don't know.
So my question to you, and then I'm happy to go to the replies, or unless you don't want to answer this.
No, go for it.
My question is, what about secret gating of the rewards? So you can't, like, the game just goes like, oh, no, you've had this many steelies in the last 30 minutes. We are now going to physically prevent you from getting steelies.
Don't make it secret. Make it open.
Yeah,
let people know. There's no reason to put like a secret check. Oh, they've gotten too many per hour. Oh.
No, but then we're just gonna leave and then.
Kuva siphons have a direct. Or Kuva acquisition has a set amount per hour, and you don't complain about that. You just wait till the next hour if you clear all your missions quickly. Yeah, there's only so many missions you can do per hour, and then you can go do your survival, which is a fixed amount per run.
Oh, okay.
So it's a very controlled amount. Before they added the survival, it was a bit less confusing because it's like, okay, hour has reset. Here are your Kuva missions. You clear those, you can now get no longer Kuva for the rest of the hour till the reset and the next thing. But then they added the survival, so you can constantly be acquiring Kuva. But then the survival is at a set rate because you can only activate so many terminals and so many spawn, and how many can you have up and how many can you finish. So yeah, it's a very fixed rate if you play at maximum. See?
Yeah,
but it's open. It's not a hidden number that you trip over. Oh, you are cheating because you've you've tripped over my secret number. I will not penalise you. It's like, you didn't tell me there was a secret number. Be open. Just be open. Be free.
Okay, should we go to the
Shaka, his arms wide.
Oh my god. TNG reference.
Is it Timber, his arms wide.
Is it?
Timber. Shaka. Wars.
Oh,
Timber. Yeah. Arms open. Oh, what? Yeah. Replies. Old content is always important to maintain and update. Good person. Because it forms the progression through the game. Systemic problems, e.g. core gameplay problems, also remain important to address, regardless of what content a player might prefer. But DE never fixes the actual underlying problems. I wish they would specify that, what core underlying problems are.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I instantly shoot this reply down. You don't specify the problem, there is no problem.
But I agree with the first point. All content is always important to maintain and update because it forms the progression through the game. Systemic problems also remain important to address regardless of what content a player might prefer. Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't... Update does not mean upgrade.
No, but it's like stamina, for instance. I just think about stamina. I mean, if that's a systemic problem that needed addressing, and they addressed it. So
yeah.
Right, next one. Enemy AI, mods balancing, melees versus gun balancing, weapon class balancing, ability balancing, operator/focused gameplay are all core aspects of the fucking game. If you don't get those right, the game devolves into brainless AoE spam fest that it is in its current state.
I'm sorry, like this if this person wants to go into derogatory,
they did not go into derogatory.
Are core aspects of the fucking game.
Yeah, that's not being derogatory towards the game. They're just saying that it's just important parts of the damn game, people. These important parts. It's colourful language. It's not. They're not saying of the rubbish fucking game. That's derogatory.
No, but it's Spamfest that is the current game. But they're saying that the game does not consider this.
They're not
if you don't get those right.
Yeah,
the game devolves into a brainless AoE Spamfest that it's in its current state.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're wrong. The best players who do the best things have the cheese strategies where you just spam some AoE nonsense or use some ridiculous AoE Kuvanu call that explodes 5 people in one shot.
Well, that got addressed.
I know, partly, but it's still very good. You know what I mean? Is that, yeah. So, but the thing is that it's a short comment, but obviously it doesn't, I don't know if the player would acknowledge that they are attempting to address these things. And I think they're trying to, what this person is when they say the fucking game, they're not being derogatory towards the game, they're being derogatory towards the original poster. They're pointing out, these are all important points of the damn game. If you don't go back and look at them, the game will never improve. That's what they're trying to say. With very
I think that's down to...
You're thinking that they're an insult versus DE and the game, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, they're not. No, it's the OP. You need to remember this is a Reddit thing. I think it's a Reddit thing. Yeah, it's a Reddit thing. It's not against DE.
But DE never, like literally the post above, but DE never fixes the actual
Now you're judging
problem.
post reply 2 because of something post reply 1 said. That's not fair.
No. You just said that the post replied to the original post. No, this could... We've seen it, Loz, where people don't actually respond.
No, must be fair and judge individual basis. We have principles.
But you have seen it.
Yes, I'll agree. I can see
Right, okay, cool. Right, okay.
But I think this person is pointing out to the original poster, these are all issues of the back bit of the game. Sometimes these will need to go back and fixed, and they're just listing ones. Though I agree, I don't agree with their list. Let's go through their list again. MAI, no, there's nothing wrong with that. Mods balancing, I think too many mods is the issue. Melee versus gun balancing, they've been addressing that. Weapon class balancing, they're addressing that. Ability balancing.
Hold on, what's weapon class balancing? That are you trying to tell me that a rocket launcher is supposed to do the same performance as a pistol?
No, it's like a heavy weapon versus double daggers. One's super speed, one's really slow. How do you balance that? You know, it's always been an issue. Other heavy weapon, sometimes the heavy weapons are better, sometimes the quick weapons are better. The thing is, Warframe is a living game, and I will never reach balance ever.
So my question to you is balance in a PvE game that super fundamentally important?
Depends.
Do you want to elaborate?
Yeah, to what scale? Like, I would have said Warframe 7 years ago, balance wasn't hard to achieve, and it wasn't that big a problem. I would say in the current game, balance is a much elusive thing, which is impossible to achieve at this point, and for future development of the game, it is a massive problem. If you watch me shooting mobs, I have, and I'm sure some people in the comments or lovely viewers that you are at home will laugh at my inability to kill a level 60 capture target when doing these relic openings not one-shotting them, because I've just got whatever gun I've got. I've just leveling a gun, whatever. But some people will probably be able to come up with a super clever build where if they cast the second ability of their Warframe and then hit it once with their melee and then shoot it, it'll get one shot. But you see me firing like 2 clips into it, just being like, okay, I don't care, just get through it, right? There's a massive balancing issue there because of what's available. I can feel it in the game, the massive imbalance of player power between me, and maybe you as well, who just go, I put mods in that sound cool. And, yes, but if I add this arcane, and then I add this ability, then on my pet I have this ability, then if I hit it with my melee with this arcane, and then if I use the Warframe power, my friend is using that Warframe power, I do a bajillion damage.
Yep.
And that's the problem. That's the imbalance they're talking about.
Okay.
There's a meme about this, but let's move on to number 3. And I'm with that meme. Next reply. I think it's also important to keep in mind that Warframe is very different from other live service games in that although it does have an element of vertical progression, i.e. leveling up mods, forming weapons and Warframes, new content in this game is almost always a lateral progression. New Warframe, you don't need it. You can do the whole game with whatever your favorite frame.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with this.
And this is part of why I didn't like Tenno Clock last week. Because
No, keep going.
Because what the stuff in Tenno Clock was potentially showing, because they didn't elaborate, was we can't really add any challenge or interesting progression in a quest anymore. You're just going to one-shot it with your bajillion riven guns. So we're abandoning almost the player. This is like what they did at the end of Last Nightwave. We're going to abandon how the player does things and just go to a fixed environment. You have this Grineer, you have this Corpus, they have this gun and melee, they have these proxies, and they have to get through this puzzle. Very fixed, very streamlined. Whereas Warframe used to be freedom. But the freedom's gone so far, and they kept giving us more mods, more arcanes, more power. You want more numbers. The point is like, the people who know in the know-how bring out the big numbers. Versus me, you're like, I put mod in gun. Yay, gun shoot.
And this is I think a big part of the crux of there is no incentive to learn how to do the super mega duper awesome damage because I can kill them just fine.
In the content we're doing, yeah.
Yeah, and again, this is why I wanted those rewards to be in Steel Path.
Yes,
because then there's
The thing is, to you and me, we just still go in with those builds, and maybe we go, oh well, I'm fighting Grineer, so maybe I'll choose the anti-Grineer mods or whatever. That's the limit, or maybe I'll change an element. That's the limit to me, what me and you play the game at, and we like, oh, Steel Path is a bit of challenge. But people have been playing Steel Path, being like, this is just a normal game, and they don't see a difference because they have these hyper builds.
That's my point, though.
Yeah,
right. So those people are, oh yeah, I'm just playing the normal game. But
no. I meant that Steel Path was the normal game to them. They saw no difference.
Yes, yeah. I know. But my point is that people that don't have those hyper builds, there's no incentive to go invest in a hyper build, right? Because right now, a bog standard build does the job.
It's still harder, and the problem is, the tricky thing is not, I think one of my points would be that I was actually following from was that, and it goes with reward and actually development of new missions and new challenge, is that, yes, they could make it more rewarding, but then it becomes, the problem is, the ways they seem to give rewards out, it doesn't, you want to incentivize those people to kind of bring up their mod game is what we're talking about, but what happens is, they may bring up their mod game a little bit to try a bit harder, but then the people who already have the super builds just super optimize and get even more reward when your goal was not to give them any more.
yeah.
That's the problem. And it's the same for challenge. And let's say, because as you point out, like we can just about manage Steel Path. Where's what did you call it? Tungsten Path? Tungsten Trial? Tungsten Path.
Yeah.
I think they're tentative. They're very, should we put any more out because of that issue that it's just propagating the same thing, that the same thing keeps happening. That's why they're scared to add any challenge to a quest, because
to be honest, I think part of the problem is the fear that they get with putting in. God, hell, do you remember when?
In the mountains?
No, when they made the stamina system harder, and it wasn't in the game for more than a day.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't even get to try it. Yeah, it's one of our war stories of playing Warframe. But, you know...
Didn't even last 24 hours before it got ripped out, yeah.
The player base was so anti it.
Because it was a freedom crush.
Sure, right? But the problem is that, you know, we were going to put these rewards in Steel Path, but the players didn't even get a chance to try the rewards on Steel Path because they kicked off so hard.
Yeah,
right?
Just like people didn't get a chance to see how having invested or all Xmas units having weak spots that you need to kill them. We didn't give it a test. I mean, they could have gone on like always on the shoulders on every humanoid and always on the back of every Xmas. We didn't even get a test of it. We're just like alarm bells.
Yeah, and I think that is part of. Should they be less open and transparent about the new stuff that they're developing, where the rewards are going? A part of me feels like that won't make a difference because the doomsayers will just say, "Oh, they're putting it in the worst place possible."
I think what they need, but I don't think I don't think it gels well with but I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever known of a game company that's really implemented it well, which is literally a sandbox test environment to really test these things with the player base. They opt in, try it. I don't know if that would work with these things, because I know they tried it in the past. They had a couple of those open testy things, but I don't really know what came from that. But I don't know what people's goals were going in, of the players going in, what they expected and what DU expected. I think that's the problem, is that DU needs to go, we're going to open this thing and we expect this from you, and then the players go, okay or no, you know, or can we have a little bit more with this? And they go, okay, maybe, and then they go, you know. And so that they go, okay, this wait, which one was DE? I've forgotten which puppet was DE now. I think this was DE. DE. This is the players is DE, and then DE. And then DE goes, okay, this week we're going to try infested that are invincible apart from the purple ones, and then when you kill the purple one, it kills all the others. And the players go, that's crazy, I can't spot purple ones because I'm colorblind. Oh, okay, we'll make them with a big glowing star as well. Oh, that sounds all right. And then we test it. How's it going? Okay, it's a bit hard, but we think it's fine. Good. You know, that kind of I have no idea what I'm doing with my hands. You know, I mean, maybe that's what you need to do to try out those concepts, so that people don't just knee-jerk and think how they think it will be, and then actually be able to see how it actually is. Hey, let's not put it as a test environment. This actually,
do it as an event.
Scrap the test environment. Yes,
that's what I was thinking.
Yes, you're bang on with that. Good, yeah.
Because the problem with, but then there has to be some freedom in the budget, right? That allows them to release an event that is a pure flop and that nothing comes out of it. Right? This is something.
That's the problem. Is that this is why they've given up doing Stratos emblems. What were those called?
Oh, tactical alerts.
Tactical alerts. I think that's what it was supposed to be. But then they put in a little bit of a lore element at the start, even though it was just a snippet. And I think all lore has to go through Steve, and that is just the bottleneck of it. Instead, it has to have no lore elements apart from the Grineer are testing a new unit. Quick, go kill it. That's it. That's all it needs to say. And then you go and you test it out. And I think it should not be an event, but like those for a weekend. And if you miss it, whoop-de-doo, you haven't missed anything. I mean, like, just add it onto the existing armband system. Some people have got loads of numbers, some people haven't. People are already spread out. They're not going to miss if their number doesn't increase. It's already, people are already all over the system. They're not going to be like, oh, I missed out on a cosmetic. So do that. Test things for weekends and go, this weekend, this testing, this mob, this weekend. And it could never appear again, but it would be testing and feedback on the live thing. That's how they should do it.
I think one thing you could... So I think they should introduce bulletin boards, right, for events. So maybe not call them events, maybe call them side hustles. I don't know. But the idea of the bulletin board is it is something you read, not something that is voice acted.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. That instantly saves a load of resources.
Yes.
And then
very limited lore, no unique specific lore, so it doesn't have to go through Steve and lore buffing.
Yeah, I mean, and then you could just say, like, there's a word of a specific breed of Xmas unit on Eris.
You could call them like test lab attacks. So you're always attacking the enemy faction's test labs.
What I was
or
thinking
breeding
was,
lab for the infested. No. Or tomb for the sentients. Unearthing tombs. Just very limited lore. And it's like, oh, we've unearthed a new tomb.
Well, no, just say like, we have spotted thing. Go check it out.
Yeah. But right? I meant to make them thematic, but no lore. So like the Grineer would be new cloning lab detected. Go destroy it, and it has the new mob in it, and you kill it. Okay, was that mob good or not? Then the Corpus would have like new testing proxy lab. The infested would have new spawning chamber found, and the sentients could have new tomb unlocked.
I think you're adding too much still. I would just say like,
well, that'd be it. That's literally it. That's all I mean. Just add a thematic.
I'm bare bonesing it further. I'm sculling it. It's just a skull.
Well,
right?
I just think that sticks out too much in the game. I think.
You think?
Well, yeah, because it becomes like Dog Days level of just like, and there's this thing.
I'd say Dog Days is more of a skeleton. I'm like it's so my whole point. Yeah, I know it's a joke, but my point is that it's like there's a sighting of a new infested Eximus on Eris. Go hunt one down. Go find it for us, and then the reward is like a shoulder emblem.
Right? I would stick with the strategical system. I really think it's good, just because people get the very bare bones of it.
But you know that they did the same Stratos emblem system for Scarlet Spear.
Yes,
where you had
similar.
That is literally what I'm talking about. Just get an emblem, right, and slap a number on it.
Yeah.
There we go. Right. Sorry, we derailed. Was that the last one, or do we have one more?
I could agree, but the early story definitely needs rework for things to make sense for players, namely Alad V and his whole plot. Yeah, that is the tangled web of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, big ball of fail.
Yeah, I agree with that one. They need to unlock in a certain way.
Yep. Right, let's move on to topic 2.
Yep, topic 2. What time are we?
Over an hour in.
Okay, 1:06.
Oh, so before I have clicked topic 2 already, but we are saying they should, as a principle, they shouldn't just abandon previous content like that. Yeah, they should occasionally, if it needs fixing, go back and do.
Oh no, fixing 100%. Updates 100%. Upgrades. That's the questionable thing.
Okay, yep, right? That's a fine point. Yep. So, right, topic 2.
I think that's the programmer rock in my head. Topic 2. Era is making his own. Oh. Ooh. Both the child and Carl's eyes glowed after Era hypnotized them. This glow is the exact same glow as we see in the Tenno's eyes. Maybe your Tenno's eyes. Even down to the pulsating inner light. The spectral mirrors, or whatever they'll be called inside the sentient ship, which replay Teshin's memories, are the same shade of liquid as Red Kuva. Only appear after Era arrived at the Unum Tower. The playback memories...
And playback memories. The exact same way as the Requiem drive does for Tenno. Where's the Requiem drive? What's the Requiem drive?
Not the big finger at the back.
Oh, it is the big finger at the back. The playback memories. Oh, wait. I can't remember. Do you touch the finger drive and then you do something? I can't remember. I think that might be some of the new war prologue stuff. Those mirrors are going to be a big motif in the quest for sure. The mirror shares the same sound effect as Era's hypnosis. Reversed wind chimes. This is confirmation that they are connected.
I thought sentience just had reversed wind chimes as a thing, but okay, moving on.
Yeah. Warframe, especially Prime Warframes, which the Archons, name of the enemy, which Danielle slipped up revealing, made from, can only be controlled by a Tenno. We don't know that.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, yeah, you finished now.
Remember that there is both a physical and spiritual component to controlling a Warframe. And while any random person can do transference via cybernetics, like Sylvana, I think that's...
Oh, the New Loka tree lady.
Yep.
Only the Tenno can survive linking with a Warframe.
Hey, just to point out about the name, firstly, DE have their own internal names for Warframes, which they sometimes say, like Valkyrie is just called Berserker. I can't remember all the, they have names, and sometimes they don't remember them. Secondly, we know from experience, sometimes DE doesn't even have a proper name for things until it's released. We're like, what's this thing called? Or, oh no, wait, what was it? What's the environment called? Solaris?
Oh God, yeah. We had that.
What's all Valis? So yeah. So obviously though, don't put it that Danielle slipped up. That could just be the working name. So don't take too much with that. Yeah.
Right. But I think the whole point is that the Archons. So
like riot mowers are called bursars because of one event.
I don't know if specifically primed. So Warframes are used for the Archons. We just know that Warframes are used for Archons because
they say
in
prime.
The concept they did say prime?
They said prime.
Okay, cool. But in the concept art, I don't think we could actually identify who the Warframe was.
I think it's not actually a clear Warframe. I think they're probably going to do that. There'll probably never be Warframes we can use, but I bet you they'll just add because they need to. They never answered the question. They never will answer the question: is there only one of each Warframe, or like in our old 40 frame style way? Is it that there's a different Warframe with the different helmets?
No, I do think they do answer this question across all the Warframe quests, and especially confirming it with Umbra. I think there is originally one of said Warframe, like there was one Aniros, one Nezha, if you listen to the Lavarian. And then what we have done is we've sort of like super cloned them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's what's the...
But it's never outrightly stated though. I really hate how it's just kept nebulous. It's the same thing, and I'm gonna save it for the next bloody dev stream. I asked on one of the dev streams about the behavior of the Tenno in quests. The quests make out that there is only one Tenno awake.
Yeah.
And it's never alluded to the fact there's more Tenno out there. I know that you can play with more Tenno. I know you can see more Tenno, but the quests make no indication that anyone else escaped the moon. Lotus came for you. The Queens came after you. You escaped the moon. Stalker came for you.
It's a very singular narrative.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to go over the top, but it doesn't even make any effort to acknowledge the existence of others after waking up. I know there's the quest on the moon with Era in the past, which showed multiple Tenno in the reservoir, but anything post waking up never shows multiple Tenno. You're the one who gets at a Stalker. Umbra. You're the one who replaces Rel. Never, especially with the Rel one, it never implies, oh, get several Tenno. Together you can hold back the man in the walls. Don't you do it. You do it. Yeah. So, and I'm going to because I put this question to Steve when we were, I think, just after the War Within. He agreed, and I'm going to put it to him again because I'm like, can this quest finally acknowledge other Tenno woke up?
Well, it could be that, I don't know, I could be reading heavily into the, what's the name of the damn, the trailer thing that they do at the end of the demo.
Yes, there's an Excalibur and a mag and a Vault, I think.
I think a Rhino as well.
Yeah, could have been 2 Excaliburs. Like that's all it will take for the Warframe side of things, of just having an in-game cutscene where you see 2 Excaliburs with different colors. They don't do it.
But my point is that it could be that this is look, finally we're getting a quest where multiple players can actually do it at the same time, and it actually answers the questions that you're asking.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to have cutscenes which acknowledge multiple Tenno and multiple Warframes in here.
Yeah.
I know the cinematics do, but that doesn't matter because it comes to Warframes. It could just be you're the only Tenno that's awake. Everyone else is either dead or still trapped asleep on the moon and protected somehow, and just all the other Warframes are just on autopilot that you just play with. There's nothing concrete to say that they're not.
Yeah. It's not recognized by the story.
Yeah. It's no acknowledged. They have now for the past, because they show the multiple operators, they show multiple railjacks. Because that's the other thing. They then added railjacks. Your railjack has a finger at the back. Does every railjack have a finger at the back? How many fingers this guy had?
Well, no, I mean that's implied by I believe, I could be wrong. It's implied by the lore from Deimos. You know, when you go down into the central chamber, and I'm pretty sure that the father says that the fingers are still growing and multiplying and things like that.
Growing, I don't remember multiplying, but yeah.
I mean, well, he had more fingers than the sun, so
apparently. But so then it goes to about warframes. It's that like these prime warframes. So you see, partly I think what DE's policy might be is never to kind of acknowledge there being multiple of a warframe, so that even though they haven't made 500 different warframes, they're implying that every warframe is kind of unique. There is actually 500 warframes in the solar system, that whenever you hear about this Tenno attack in Pluto and this Tenno attack on Mars, it is completely different warframes. But we just haven't got to the point of making 500 different warframes. They kind of want to keep that going. They need to be clear.
Yeah. No, you're not. I completely agree with you. It's... Yeah, I don't know what to say. With regards to...
Error making his own Tenno?
I don't think they could. We don't know what caused the Tenno. Tenno have never been... Unless Ballas has somehow come across a way to actually mass produce them. I don't think they could.
Well, but remember, one of the things they showed us was what was happening on the tens. You know, you see the before and after, and you see the school classroom on 10-0.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have flashbacks to finally see what happened, what gave us our powers, how many Tenno are there.
I mean, are we suddenly going to find out that Ballas and Wally have had a contract and, like, you know, they made a deal and... it's like, oh, is it...
Wally?
Wally, I wish... Oh, the man in the wall.
Oh, the man in the wall.
Sorry. Yeah. Yep. It's like, Wally, I've come to bargain. Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, because... Yeah, I mean, what could possibly do it? I mean, it's not like they could just start sending sentient ships to the void to start mass producing Tenno and things, surely.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh yeah, we're just gonna take all these deceased kids and start turning them into Tenno, and I mean, it'd be interesting, don't get me wrong, but I think more than likely, because the Orokin are involved, because Ballas is involved, they might start using things like red and blue Kuva. You know about the blue Kuva, yeah?
The blue Kuva?
Blue Kuva allows you to have temporary transference. So it was used in... so if you listen to the narrative from Knights of Nabarus, right? Halloween... There was a special decoration, which was a hand
dangly pocket.
Yeah. And if you listen to Grandmother's story, she tells you about this event where the Orokin would take Osterons, horribly mutilate them, and then use blue Kuva to use temporary transference to take over the bodies, and then like wander the streets of Cetus
as mutilated Osterons.
Right?
Wow.
But then an Osteron servant, basically while the Orokin are like asleep kind of thing, temporarily controlling these bodies. This Osteron servant basically feeds them red Kuva and forces them to stay in those mutilated bodies. Yeah. So, but and like, you know, it could be that they're kidnapping warriors or whatever to pilot the warframe. So they're using transference effectively to get them inside the bodies.
It would be kind of cool if it turns out that the sentients aren't actually our biggest enemy and they're only trying to fight the man in the wall, who actually is a bigger enemy but's just being very carefully sly about it.
I don't know if I'd like that. I like the idea that they're two different...
Oh, they'd still be bad dudes, but you're never going to agree with them. But they're like, no, we're doing this our way. We're not going to work with you. You know.
I mean, it does feel weird that all of a sudden Ballas is working. I mean, the only thing I can think, like, Lotus said, or Natar says that, Error should be dead. So is Error a construct of Ballast, so he's completely controlling this?
It's a mimic.
A mimic of a mimic. Yeah,
I still don't like the Error thing, and the fact that they said I've never liked the model for Error. And then they said like, oh yeah, this was just going to be an enemy that was just going to be like hiding on a wall, and sometimes it would jump down, and sometimes it wouldn't. I'm like, and you chose that to be your big bad?
I mean, like I don't know. I still like the idea that, yes, I can get over my headcanon not being actualized, but I just like the idea that it turned out Error was actually Ballast. When they transformed him, he turned into Error, and then he sort of used that physical form to manipulate Natar. Yeah, I would have preferred that so much more.
I would as well. That'd be kind of cool. So the sentients are going to get subverted by Ballast. Well, we see that he's going to have his old Pope regime going on, so maybe he will.
It just feels weird. I don't know where they're taking the plot. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know where they're taking the plot, but it just, suppose.
The thing is, right, when you're watching a TV show and you're watching it every episode back to back, you don't have time to process the plot, and so you go through it and think, oh, it was cool. When you have a week to mull over, because it's a weekly releasing show, you mull over the plot and you think about the good points, but then it's not long before a week you get your next installment. When you have 2 years between plot points, you break them down and rotate them and see all the flaws, the cracks. You wonder this, go back and look. I wonder why that's a problem. Now that's a problem. You can't keep up with the cool narrative because you're just like, oh, look at all these problems here. But that's the problem, is at the moment, it's like, you say, well, maybe it's a good thing. It's like, no, it's not at this point, because they need to get on with the plots at this point. And hopefully they will soon by the end of the year. But still, it's just like, it's been too long. It's been far too long for them to do since they've done anything. That it's just like, I can't get that enthused about it. Right, as for Error making his own Tenno, so that's how I think. If it would be a cool thing where it's like, though they are the bad guys, they also hate. Maybe the Man in the Wall is like the last true Orokin, and then I'd love it if How about the sentients are?
Unless they've turned around.
Oh no, you're right. The Man in the Wall was always there, wasn't he? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So after the Man in the Wall, and then maybe they even get that partly way to going to fix it, but then they get completely overtaken by Ballast.
Sorry, can you repeat that? So
the Sentient's goal at the moment is to fight the Man in the Wall, but in the process of them doing that, that's why they came back. That was their original goal, to come back to the solar system, and then they amalgamated Ballast, and then Ballast slowly subverts the entire sentient army into his own plan.
I can see that, but I do feel that the sentients are here just for revenge. Against the Orokin. But that was their whole supposed to be driving factor, is they're here for revenge. But Ballast has just seemed to have like, oh no, we had nothing to do with the Warframes. It was the Tenno. You want revenge against the Tenno. And like, for some strange drunken stupor, the sentients are, you're right. It is the Tenno's fault.
I guess.
That's how it feels. But I also like the Archon thing. Remember that there is both a physical and spiritual component to controlling a Warframe. I don't know about the whole physical thing, but like, the whole spiritual thing seems reasonable. I think realistically, how the Archons function is by superseding the head. I think that whole crystal thing that was, I wish we had it to hand. It was like, just jammed where the Warframe's head should be.
Don't we?
We'd have to pause. Do you want to pause it?
Yeah, 2 secs. Pause.
Cool. And then if you do meme 12, there you go. So there it is.
It basically removes what I would refer to as the neuroptics.
Yeah. Yeah, it just stabs it in the head.
Well, it used to be called the helmet, didn't it? And then it got turned to neuroptics.
Yeah. So I just feel like it stabs it in the head, and then it's superseding the control.
Yep.
So effectively, like, I mean, I wonder how much of the body is actually going to move, or whether or not it's just going to float there, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it won't. It'll twitch and really rather
Oh, I feel like a moron. Because there's something special about it. Do you remember what's special about this enemy?
Yeah.
It's a mid-boss.
Mid-boss.
It's like Stalker.
Yeah.
Yes, there's not going to be a bajillion of these things, is there?
No. Do you know?
So I feel that this undermines the topic massively, because it feels like, Era's trying to make Tenno for their own Warframes, but we got one.
No, they're not making... did it say Tenno for their own Warframes?
Well, why else would they have... Warframes, especially primed Warframes, which the Archon is made from, can only be controlled by Tenno.
Ah, well, okay, that part's completely wrong, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I just thought about that. I mean, if anything, I feel that the new infested
Sentient.
Yes, the new sentient Warframe would potentially be controlled by
Tenno.
New Tenno, but not this thing.
Not this thing, no, but this thing might be how they study and learn about, by capturing and breaking down and seeing how everything works. I mean, if you chop the head off and then stick your control unit in...
Ballast knows how they work. Ballast knows how they work.
Ballast knows how to make them. He doesn't know how to...
No. He made them.
Yes.
Right? That was a huge lore element, that he was the creator of
But they don't know how to...
Warframe.
The sentients might not know how to interface a sentient with a Warframe. Be able so that the void energy or whatever doesn't poison them.
This reminds me of something of the Guyver. But anyway, I'll explain that for another time.
All right, should we move on to replies?
Yeah, I think so. Do you want to turn that off?
Okay,
cool.
First reply, but the Tenno are touched by the void, not infused by Kuva. I'm sure all these things will be retconned and paved over into a nice garden.
No, I mean, to be fair, though, there's still no explanation, as far as I can tell, where Kuva comes from.
Yeah, exactly. And what it's linked to, you know.
Yeah.
How do you know that Kuva might not be energy from the void being thrown out or bleeding out because of the man in the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's forcing it out to make people use it, to make people...
Man in the wall blood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could be his blood. Blood of his blood. Right, next one.
It's just not scabbing over, sorry.
That's actually in line with the fact that they also revealed a sentient-themed Warframe is in the works. I bet that it's going to be in line with frames like Octavia and Sevagoth, where we finish the quest, get the blueprints, then do stuff to get the components. My money is on some Railjack missions. So the theory is that Era is trying to build Caliban. Caliban?
I don't know.
Caliban?
I have no idea. What are Caliban?
I don't know.
To the internet.
Is that like a Marvel reference? Caliban like a city with a mutants live? Is that
Caliban?
But also pointing out, I do remember them saying, I don't know if they were implying this would be the last one, but they did say that this new Warframe is like in the line of sentient Warframes. So we had Revenant being the Eidolon one, and we're getting this one. That doesn't mean this is going to be the last sentient Warframe. I don't think. It could be, but they're kind of like in the line of these. I can't remember the wording, but I swear I felt it like there was going to be multiple new sentient Warframes, but...
Apparently, Caliban, in terms of Marvel, is a fictional character appearing in... He's a mutant.
Yeah, okay. Warframe?
I don't know about Warframe. The next reference is a Warhammer 40k reference.
Caliban?
Caliban is the name of a planet full of grand forests, yeah. Mutant. Caliban the Tempest. Caliban is a character in The Tempest, which begins with a shipwreck off a remote... Okay.
No. Should we move on?
Yeah, I'm gonna call. Yeah, go on.
Plot twist, not really. Era is Barrow, who was buying from us prime Warframe parts to create a Warframe army of his own. Went to the Ostrons to kidnap children because he thinks only children can control Warframes. Why Barrow? Error is supposed to be the gargoyle sentient, and gargoyles are known for just standing and sitting in one place forever, just like Barrow does.
I like that. I like the tongue and cheek.
Your logic is immutable, undeniable. Error and Ballas are certainly trying to remake their own Warframes, but the Tenno are unique. Error/Ballas might be able to try to make some kind of Kuva hybrid from the Unum, but that is not what a Tenno is.
Yeah, I really like. The thing is, they don't need Tenno to make Warframes.
No,
we know that Warframes existed prior to the Tenno's use or application,
and
right?
Technically, you might not even need Tenno to subjugate Warframes. If you mind control an Ostron and then forcibly shove their consciousness into the Warframe, overwriting the one that's just insane from being turned into a Warframe, you know. So we have the ability to swap Warframes. This would be like a one-time thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So effectively, they mind control. So Error does his mind control without his look into my eye socket.
Look into my mouse. Not around mouse. Look into my.
Yeah. So he mind controls the kids. The kids then do Error's bidding, then use permanent transference into the Warframe's body. So then there's no opportunity for the Warframe to go mad.
Yeah.
But they're not Tenno. They don't have... But in that sense, aren't the Void powers supposed to be part of... I thought the only reason why they had Warframes had void powers is because of the energy that the Tenno can channel into them.
True, but at least the Warframes would then be a vessel that can experience the void safely.
That is true. So what, then they just shove the Warframe into the void?
Yeah, which would then be their bidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or hell, just use the Ostrons as experimental things to shove in, and then eventually shove a sentient into one of these Warframe bodies. Or sentient consciousness.
Oh, very interesting. Next one.
One note on the mirror that I feel is being looked, to me at least, the sea of red on the inside strongly implies that it's a reservoir of Kuva. Yeah. I think it's Kuva. Kuva. They got some Kuva. They've been farming some Kuva.
Like, I mean, well, we knew that the Sentients were interested in Kuva anyway. They could have gotten it from literally anywhere. I mean, bloody Kuva Fortress floats around hell of a lot.
Yep.
Maybe that's why the Kuva Fortress has no Kuva. Sentients came and stole it all.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. Okay. Fine. I think I don't. I want to refute that. I really do. I want to say no. It can't possibly be Kuva. But I think the sad truth is, yeah, it is fucking Kuva.
Yeah, it'll be Kuva. It'll do a thing, it'll do things. Definitely Kuva. But as for this overall topic, I think some of it's a bit meh, like we proved with the Prime Warframe thing being a mid-boss and whatever. But I think we're just going to have to see what's going to happen. I don't think anyone can really predict exactly what's going to happen on this plot. And the sooner they get it out, the better. But obviously when it's done, not for...
Yep.
Right,
cool,
that's it for the topics this week. Let's move on. Oh, sure. What's next?
Graphs. Which is graphs. Cool. So first graph. I feel bad for Loz.
Why? What?
So, how do you feel about the new war demo? This isn't a lie. This is the actual results. Everyone was positive.
You're all
100%.
wrong. I should have voted negative to be the one person. I'm not impressed. It almost impressed me. Almost, but did not.
All right. Should we move on to the second one? Or do you want to tell them how they're wrong some more?
No.
So, which reveal were you happy with? 0% said Warframe on mobile.
Oh, wow.
So happiest with.
Happiest. Okay.
Happiest with. 0% said Warframe on mobile. 12% said Nidus Prime. 23% said cross save and cross play, and 69% said the new war.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that
you have to say nice.
Nice.
Good.
Why do I have to say nice?
The 69. Nice.
Right. Move on to the next one. Which reveal were you disappointed with? that should have been, which reveal were you most disappointed with? So 0% said the new war, 13% said cross save and cross play, 43% said Warframe on mobile, and 43% said Nidus Prime. I'm Warframe on mobile.
Nidus Prime for me.
Not fair. Cool. So we still balance it out evenly.
Yeah.
The next one. Oh, you did press it. Sorry. Assuming your phone can, would you play Warframe on mobile?
Ooh.
26% said no, 33% said maybe, and 41% said yes.
Right, so it's not a negative thing towards it. I think it's not the most popular thing, obviously, at all. But it's people that are open to the concept at least. I think we really have to see the implementation before people will nudge. But at least, and the yeses were the majority, but not a massive majority. And there's a lot of maybes in there. So combined, that's what, 74%? Either yes or maybe. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
There are so many elements to this. Like, because of the whole monetization war that's had with Apple and Google, over the V-Bucks in Fortnite. I'm just like, is this a can of worms that DE are opening themselves up to?
We'll have to see.
I mean, is Tencent gonna have to step up and fight DE's battle for them, or DE gonna end up in lawsuit after lawsuit over this?
I doubt it'll go that far.
It went that far with Epic, right?
Yes, but that's because Epic were attempting to get more money for it. I don't think Tencent actually care about the global mobile market. I think this is actually a give to the Asia markets because they don't have space for PCs, so there's a lot more playing on mobile. So I think it's more to get in with them. I think they more care about that than caring about fighting for the percentages with Apple.
No, but the whole thing is that basically Epic turned around and said, "Oh well, if you buy Platinum on PC, you have access to it on mobile, and you can get it at a better rate." Right? That's this is lining up. Unless they turn around.
I think the walls are going to come hard down on the Platinum side of things when thinking about it. I don't think we'll have cross trade. I think it's cross play. It's cross-save, but I think your Platinum will be isolated.
Well, how would you prevent cross-trade?
So the Platinum I purchase on my mobile phone, I can only trade to another mobile player.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. I see what you mean now. So, but with that... I'm just trying to think.
The one issue with it is that I could still go, well, I'll buy my Platinum on PC. I'll then go to the market and spend my Platinum on things on PC because it's cheaper and get the same items. And then I'll be able to use them on mobile. But they're all cosmetics, really. So as long as they keep that, you purchase it on...
But money's money.
I think as long as you keep it, that you purchase the stuff, or the stuff you purchase on PC stays on PC. The stuff you purchase on mobile stays on mobile when it comes to the currency. I don't think it'd be.
The next question is, what about Tenno Gen? And so if you buy a Tenno Gen on PC, do you still have access to it on?
They have to. They have to.
Do they?
Because otherwise, a PlayStation will go. Your character is loading in with a skin from Tenno Gen. I do know what this is, so you'll be a pink and black box. It has to know what it is.
No. Oh god, this is crazy. And then so lots of crazy. But anyway, last one is, how much of TennoCon 2021 did you watch? 77% said that they'd watched the community art show and cosplay contest. I think that was just before Tenno Live. 96% said across the board that they'd watched the Tenno Q&A, the sound of the system, and art of Warframe, and then 100% watched Tenno Live. So basically, only one person watched Tenno Live exclusively, and not anything else. So.
Yeah. That's because I think they realise there is other stuff to be gleaned from the other sections, maybe not as much. So, and it's only a few hours, really. Yeah.
What with Sheldon, like, so not Sheldon, Jeff going like, yeah, no, I have to undermine Sheldon's panels, so steal all the stuff. Cool. Right, next.
Community responses?
No, support question. Sorry.
Yes, those ones. Yes, sorry. Yes, supporter questions. Magpie F. How do you think DE is going to handle the limitations of spawning for crossplay, as the Switch has lower enemy spawning, and assumably the mobile version will have a similar limitation? Bonus question: If you feel, do you think crossplay will increase update release intervals by a significant amount in order to keep all versions aligned? It's 2 questions. Also, we always take bonus questions. Go Magpie. 4 questions.
So the first one about decreasing the spawn rate.
Yep. I think if you have a Switch or mobile player with you, you'll just experience a lower spawn rate.
I fucking hope they don't do that. I just hope that they manage to sort it out for Switch and mobile, that they can actually get the same spawn rate.
Maybe. Don't want to cook some Switches.
Oh god, shoot! What was the?
I mean, mobile is another issue, because they can literally just say, "Oh, it's only available for like modern mobiles," and then it doesn't work for XYZ mobiles. So they can always have that moving. So mobile can actually keep up with PC, because it just approves every year, and they just say like, "Oh, sorry, support will be ending for these phones as of this time," and that'll just happen. A lot quicker than with PCs. But Switch hasn't been upgraded in years. Instead of getting an upgrade, it's getting an OLED panel.
I remember hearing recently a story of, oh god, what's the name of the damn things? 3090s getting cooked by a relatively new, I think it's the new Amazon game. I think it's called New World, actually.
Oh, New World, yeah. Coming out at the end of August.
Apparently, it's destroying 3090 graphics cards.
Really?
Yes.
I'm finding a lot of that these days, is that newer things seem to be optimized, because graphic cards aren't as able to, the newer ones aren't easily obtainable. I think, because there was another few games I've heard about this, I was watching Death of a Game, that games are better optimized on older graphics cards than newer ones.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that they'll just keep the reduction, because I think that's it. There's nothing they can do about it. As for the second question, do you think crossplay will increase the update release intervals by a significant amount in order to keep all versions aligned?
Yes.
I think they will try and do, yeah.
Yeah, no. I think the updates will come out at a slower rate. Sorry. Can you make sure that, like they said, increase the interval, right? Which means that it's going to take longer between each interval.
Oh yes, yeah. They're saying that, so there'll be longer time between updates so that everything's aligned.
Yeah, I think there will be.
I think a bit, but the major thing will be for PC. I think for consoles, the console teams are pretty up to speed these days, that normally they all get their updates. I mean, they're not massively delayed for console. I think maybe that occasionally happens for like the Switch, I think the thing that will
be, I think the big thing will be for PC, there will be an option which is, don't align me to, so just give me the most recent updates sort of thing, so they get all the hot fixes and stuff. Or, I mean, who knows, maybe Tencent will give them the green light to just release hot fixes more frequently. So
it's not Tencent,
it's the budget, it's the finances.
Do you mean for PC or consoles?
Consoles.
No, it's nothing to do with budget and whatever.
No, but they have to pay for the certification.
Yeah.
They have to pay for that.
Maybe.
So if they do it more frequently, it's just like, we've got another one.
Yeah, I guess they wouldn't do every little hotfix. Maybe they do for PC, but they could just bungle a few together and do lesser updates for consoles. Maybe. Right, moving on. Zrugal says, before I read out Zrugal's question, I just wanted to ask our lovely audience to like the video and make sure you're subscribed. Also, we would also greatly appreciate if you could share this video. Yeah?
Out of interest, how easily could you read that? Because I saw it, I'm like, my dyslexia is crying now. It is in a corner.
Before I read out Zrugal's question, I just want to ask our lovely audience, and I remember I'm reading this to a not great fidelity monitor. Yeah. To like the video and make sure you're subscribed. We would also greatly appreciate if you could share the video. No, that's fine. Dougal asks, we have credit boosters and affinity boosters. How would you feel about an endo booster?
I'd be fine with that.
Oh, it's like a focus booster. Boost focus on top of affinity.
Also, Kuva booster.
Kuva booster, yeah. Give us the boosters.
Yeah.
All the boosters.
Yeah.
Boost,
you need more boosters.
Boost!
Yeah.
Boost!
Do that. You got to
boost.
See, now we need the Red Dragon Emperor skin for. You have to find it, man.
I don't.
Make it happen.
Let's see what I can find.
Do it.
Fans of people have. Well, that's maybe it's been stripped from a game or something. Who knows? We'll have to see. Anyway,
I don't think it's in a game.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Rateb Jafar, I have 2 questions I would like your opinion on.
Oh wait, are we gone to the community responses?
Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
If PvP changed to Grineer versus Corpus, do you think it would improve the game mode?
Yes.
If by the end of the new war they pulled a time travel to justify the planes are still unharmed, I believe the Quills did mention that they see multiple universes and try to fix it. Yeah, Drew was like, yeah, of course I'm going to do that. I do not want that at all. I want permanence. I want some sort of change. You know, it should be a flowing game where things change. Anyway, Zrugal.
Hold on. No, that's Hollow. I'm 100% expecting the MCU in Phase 4 to just retcon a load of shit.
Oh, okay. Like they're not already. Anyway, moving on. You know the new Hawkeye show that's coming?
Yeah.
They've already looked at the billing for it. And the guy who plays Clint, I can't remember his name.
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner is just listed as Clint. And his daughter is listed as Hawkeye already. Like, oh, really? I wonder what's going to happen in that show. Ridiculous. Drugal asks, I would like to add to Xenos' answer of the Switch team taking development time from PC, that we have gotten a load of excellent optimizations from the Switch team. Warframe looks better than it ever has and runs better than it ever did. There are some positives to that, so maybe mobile brings some more. NS Sinister. There was no way option. Oh, sorry. There was no way option in this week's polls to select none. On the poll about which reveal I was disappointed about, I didn't select anything, but may not help your graphs. There you go.
This was raised in on the Discord as well. Unfortunately, I only found it just before Shazbot was what I was going to say. Only just before we were recording this. If you guys have any of these questions, points and statements and things, feel free to jump on the Discord, but please at me, because I'm a crazy busy person. I don't read everything. I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad boy.
Rito Devil.
It was supposed to say, what were you most disappointed with?
Yeah, but still, people could say none. I mean, they'd be like, I wasn't disappointed at all. I had no level of disappointment. Disappointment level nil, negligible, nada.
No one would be happy with literally everything in that. It's what were you most disappointed in?
I don't know. Some people won't put no, but yeah, I know what you're trying to do. But still, just let you know there were people who weren't disappointed, just didn't vote in your poll. Anyway, Rito Devil. Ballas is still alive, and there's nothing stopping him from making and priming Warframe still, especially with Caliban looking to be a new era of Warframe. Is this what the 10? Is that?
Oh, maybe that's what they're naming the new one.
Okay, maybe the new Warframe's called Caliban. I don't remember them saying that, but okay.
Yeah, maybe that slipped out somewhere else because I've not heard that.
I feel like that could explain a lot of inconsistencies. Also, Era is getting his hand at Warframes 2, so a lot of doors for designs are going to open up. Okay. Benjamin Smarich. I love the Baruch Deluxe skin. It's that perfect balance between simple and complex. Not too keen on the helmet, but the hooves are chef's kiss. So, just what I wanted.
To be fair, though, the holes in the arms, it kind of freaks me out.
Oh, and I do love the look of Nidus Prime. Something Brozim, and just want to point out, Zrugal did something similar in the comments as well, thought of that I wanted to is to see the new war from the point of the infested hive mind too. And yes, Xeno, Teshin threw the Orvius and grappled onto it. Oh, yeah.
Yay! Xeno, right.
Last point, Nick Evans. Did we spend an hour on just... Oh, yeah, Nick Evans. You said you wanted this one, so... did we spend an hour on just one topic? Yeah, we talked a lot. No, Nazith. They talked a lot. You spectated like it was a tennis match and occasionally called foul balls. That's the summary of last week's episode.
Sorry,
I love having Nazith on, but we have to have him on when I'm not so angry. Angry.
And I'm not so defensive.
What?
And I'm not so defensive.
Yep. Right. That defensive. Anyway, moving on. That's it for those. We're now going to move on to the memes. So let's do the memes. So meme number... Oh, meme number 1. Yep. Entitled Carl175. For the Alliance. For the Horde. For the Emperor. For the Queens. Nope, none of that. For my brothers. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even introduce these. So all these memes, I'm sure everyone knows by now, but they are from the r/memeframe subreddit. All the links are in the description below. Do check them out, including the secret video meme of the week. That's down there as well. So go have a look at that. It's the one I wanted to do last week, but I couldn't put it in, so it's in this.
Wait, no, I thought I put it in.
No. I had meme set, and then we swapped it for a different funny meme about TennoCon, but I had a meme I wanted to use originally.
Oh, okay. With you now.
Here we are. I told you about this meme. All reliable. YouTuber explaining how to make an amazing build. Me, a simple man. This is me down. This is me and you at the bottom here. This is us. Like I put pressure point. I put like quickening sounds good. Yeah, put that in a weapon grid. There we go. Good job.
I've done.
Right, meme number 3. Oh, can I click? Why am I clicking? There we are. Click. Oh, I've somehow. Oh, interesting. Okay, meme number 3. Got it? Yes. Okay then. Kuva Fortress. Witness, my control expands to a new sector. The Grenier Queens. That is a good meme.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Meme number 4. First we had Call of Duty, then we had Depth Space. Get ready for Ghost of Teshin.
That's a good one as well.
Meme number 5. This might be Nidus Prime, but I'm not too sure. Operator, you probably didn't recognize me because of my golden arm. If you don't know what this is from A Force Awakens when C-3PO randomly turns up with a red arm and says, you might not recognize me because of my red arm. It's like, no one cares, C-3PO. It doesn't even make sense.
Yep.
And the last meme of the week. Tell me your secrets, Carl175. My 6th former Mesa Prime struggling to kill sentience. Carl and his single Grakata. Look at what they need to mimic a fraction of our power.
Oh my god.
Yep. It'd be true that.
That's amazing.
It's true.
No, it's entirely true. Freaking, Carl just murdering sentience like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. Right.
Wait, do you want to turn those off then?
Paused.
You've paused?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Do you want to take a 20-minute break? I'm gonna.
You haven't paused. You haven't paused. No, I can see that you haven't paused.
Unpaused. I can push buttons. That's how we unpause. Yep. Yay.
Yep. Very, very scientific stuff. Shenanigans. Right. Should we move on to the community shoutouts? So our first. That's not the. What? How? Was that number 1?
Yep.
Oh, I got these entirely in the wrong order. Okay, so number 4 is Protea and number 6 is the Protea Paradox Tenogen skin by Cleo Natarin.
Wow,
very, very nice.
Is this on the Steam Workshop?
I saw this on her Twitter. I don't know if it's on Steam Workshop yet.
Nice.
I'm assuming the next one's number 5. Nope, the next one is number 2, which is Wisp by Controlcan. Oh, sorry, Zero Control.
Cool. That's really cool. I'm not sure what's happening on the background, but that's just cool. Oh, it's like
Did I accidentally save over the? Yeah. Number 3 is Poor Allard V by Leonidax.
In your face, Ropolist. Now that the sentients are gone, I can finally enjoy some peace.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. Number 4 is Protea and Brute Deluxe Skins by, I cannot pronounce this name. It's yeah.
Yes, no, that is a name.
Yep. Potentially. Yeah. Yep. Hold on. So I'm being messaged briefly.
I'll do a little dance.
Right, and then number 5 is Dasta Creations Best Boy Gummy by Nimki Arts. So Dasta Creations is another Warframe creator who uses Harrow. This is their color scheme for Harrow. I don't know, for some strange reason it works really well.
Cool.
And yes, this was done by Nimki Arts. So, and then number 6 again. Where is number 1 gone? Hold on 2 seconds. Can you pause?
I can.
Right, now we have number 1, which is That's Not a Pet, That's Valkyr's Sister, Bastet, by
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep, so you've got the Valkyr Gethsemane, or is that default Valkyr? That might be default Valkyr.
Yes, default versus
Sevagoth. And then Bastet with, cool.
And a good jacket tag.
So, of course, right. So that is it for the community shoutouts.
Yep.
At the end of the show, Loz. Do you want to hit the end of the show button?
I can find the end of the show button. It's that one.
Yeah. And we actually have the Patreon supporters back.
Friendship with Nazareth has ended. Friendship with Patreon supporters has begun.
Yeah. So, for any of you that have gotten this far, you may have wondered, where are the quotes? We've been doing it for a very, very long time, and it takes about just as long to do a quote as it does the rest of the show prep.
Okay. So anyone who's made it this far and is looking for a quote, so it's sad to say we're gonna hide this at the end, so people are like, oh, bring back the quotes, because it's just the people who care about the quotes at this point.
Yeah.
And so so the amount of time, sometimes finding a quote can be very easy. Sometimes finding a quote, as Xeno says, like I have to look through all the comments. I have to go find memes, and then it could be a quote, and the quote can take sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes an hour. It's also really tricky, and most of the time, I think we're getting to the point we haven't seen the films, especially now that we've had over a year with the pandemic, where we haven't been going to the cinema, so we haven't had new films that we've both seen to quote. So it's really hard. So we've decided to streamline the process and make it easier for us to produce these episodes. We're going to stop doing the quotes because it's just to sign off the show, which is very sad, and it has been fun. But oh god, and also the prep work. We're trying to make a list of all the quotes so that we didn't repeat, and it's just like keeping that updated and then checking. You have to check that, then check IMDb, then check.
I never did.
It was just it's a lot of work, wasn't it? It's just so the quotes were fun, but I think we're going to sign off the show by just saying goodbye to everyone, and we'll see you next time, sadly. Yep.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.